Hi, my name is Flo.
My name is Brandon.
What's up? I'm Sandy.
Hi, this is Jane, and welcome to String Along. All right, this is episode 4, and today we're going to talk about college. This is my little sister, Jenny. Oh.
Our first actual guest.
All right, she is a senior in high school right now, and she is currently applying for college, and she just had some questions. When did you guys all graduate? I graduated in 2019.
I also graduated in 2019.
I graduated in 2020.
Same here. Me and Sandy are pretty much the
Dang,
same
class of
year.
20 is straight out of college.
Great.
Great.
Yes. Unemployed.
We all did it.
but still fighting. Yes, we did. We did. 4 years. We all did it. We all did really well.
All right, so Jenny will be attending college September or August of 2021. So she just had some questions for us recent graduates. All right, so first question, Jenny.
The first question is there something you wish you guys all did during senior year?
I mean, for me personally, I kind of wish I just kind of chilled instead of like overstressing myself, because even when you're in your last quarter, you know, you get senioritis and stuff. Like you, I don't know, you still have to keep up with grades and stuff, but like, I wish I just didn't put like so much pressure on myself, because everyone was like getting accepted into their dream colleges. And then I was just like, well, like this kind of sucks because I didn't really get into the colleges I wanted to. But, you know, yeah, I just like wanted to have more fun, but that was kind of harder for me.
As for me, for my senior year of high school, actually, when right before I graduated, I think I still recall the biggest regret I had was not applying to schools that I felt like I couldn't get in. So I only applied to schools where they were safety schools and just slightly above safety schools. And as long as I got an acceptance, that's what made me happy. But after I got those acceptances and I started realizing that I had opportunities or chances to get to better schools, and I didn't take those opportunities, then that's what made me kind of upset, I guess, kind of regret. Yeah.
I think one of the most like common thing that we think as students is that, oh, we can't get into a good school. I think for me, I had a really bad SAT score, so that really discouraged me from applying to any UC schools. So and you have to pay, right, guys? I think you have to pay additional
application
for
fees.
each college, right? But in all honesty, if it wasn't for my mom, actually, I wouldn't have gone to UCR. Like straight up, I told her I don't want to even apply to UC because I just feel like I don't think I would get accepted. And I think that mentality has already got, I think that's like one of the biggest like stoppers for me. But here I am, UCR, graduate.
So she is currently applying for 6, but then the 2 other schools that she wanted to apply is a little more on like a higher. So she's like, oh, should I even apply? So what do you guys think?
I think you should do it if it's like something like if it's a school you really want to go to, just do it.
It's either you're gonna regret not doing it for the rest of your life. And I think it's just something worth feeling, even though you might, hopefully you get accepted, but even if you get rejected, it's like a learning curve.
Yeah, and it just clears your mind a lot, I feel, because whether or not you got accepted or getting that answer from that school is the definite answer you get, right? If you didn't apply to those schools, your entire life you're gonna be like, what if I went to that school? What if I applied to that school? What if I made it to that school, right? But if you actually applied to it and they rejected you, then there's none of that. It's like you already know what the answer is. You didn't get accepted. So you might as well apply for them, even if you feel like it's out of your reach, and let them answer for you. Try your hardest. That's what it is.
I told her apply, but her thoughts were like, so she is only gonna go into one college. It's not like even if she gets accepted to all 6 or even all 8, it's not like she gets to go to all 8. So she only gets to go to one. So she is like, should I spend money on colleges that are higher, that have less of a chance of her to go in, and should I still go for it?
I wanted to add to, like, you know, the application fees. You can actually sometimes get it waived depending on your income of the household. So that's one of the tips I would give the viewers out there.
Yeah. I think
Perfect.
what I worry about is just like, it's like I know that like they could provide me, because like they've been like continuously like telling me like it's fine, like we got you back, like we could provide you with enough money. But then for me, I was like, I just felt kind of sorry, so I was like, should I just keep on asking? But yeah, they said that. So like right now, like I decided to just apply to them, and I'm just like working on the application. But the next like question is like, should I dorm? Like, is that a good idea?
Yes, 10 out of 10, yes. Sorry. Before
Why?
I lag again. Huh?
Tell us why,
Dude,
Brandon.
You're meeting new people and might as well just meet freshmen along the way and grow together as a group. Here's the thing. A lot of people think of saving money. I totally agree that saving money and these dorms are very expensive. But technically speaking, it's also about experience. You won't be able to hang out with your friends 24 hours, sleeping super late, which I was not used to back then, and just being on your own. You learn budgeting, you learn just pretty much being like staying focused, you know, doing what you want to do. That's why I'm a firm believer of dorm. Like if my kids in the future wants to dorm, I'll be like, go ahead. You're free to go. But I actually do think it's definitely an advantage for everyone. Like you learn so many different people, like it's insane.
I mean, I personally, I disagree with Brandon. I think it's very costly. And like, you know, a lot of people when they're in the dorms, like they don't necessarily make friends with their hallmates. Like for me personally, I stayed in dorms, but I didn't make that many friends with my hallmates. Like I felt like I was very like isolated from them because they were all like the same major, and then like we just never really clicked too much. And like the place where I found all my friends and like all my activities is through like an organization.
I actually, Brandon, you want to add something?
No. I can't say no. Go ahead, Flo. Go ahead.
I do want to say like dorming isn't for everybody, but it is for the majority of the people, I think. Or not for the majority. It's not for anybody, but it's more like it's more convenient for some people, depending on where you stand, where you live as well in the first place. But going from in and out of classes, it's so much more convenient to live in the dorms. Yeah, like to go on campus, to go to class, it's not that far. During finals week, midterms, you can go to the library. You have like so many resources available to you if you live close, rather than if you actually what's that word?
Live off campus.
If you live off campus, or I forgot the other word.
Or in other student housing.
Yeah, or you live with your family back home. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're away from all those resources. Commuting was the word I was looking for. Thank you. But on top of that, I do know that sometimes dorming can have a negative impact on you. If say, I remember in my hall there was this one guy that loved studying completely, hated socializing. So depending if you like socializing or not, for all the viewers out there and you, Jenny, if you don't like socializing, the dorm's probably not good for you, because he was that one guy who, while everybody was having fun and being loud and all that, he was the one studying, and then all he did was complain at the noise level we were, kind of bringing up, and then he would go to the RA, residence advisor, and he would complain to us about it. So for him, in his personal experience, I would say his first year in college, dorming was probably whack. It was probably bad. It was probably not worth it, and probably
not
to.
That is true. It's not for everyone, but if you know yourself and you think that dorming would actually help you grow, just do it. Sandy's kind of cuckoo.
I mean, like for me, it's like honestly, when people are screaming and running down the halls at 3 a.m., that is definitely not a mood for me. It's like I'm just trying to sleep and I have a midterm the next day, and it's just like, oh my god, just shut up, guys! Like go to sleep.
No. Definitely, and that's why you should. It's really important to know what type of person you are. If you're, if you like to socialize with people, or if you don't, and that's for all the viewers out there.
So I think all three of you guys were actually you guys were able to dorm, but I actually didn't get to dorm my first year. So
Ooh.
coming from that, um dorm, like 100% dorm, even if you like it, you don't like it, just do it, because I think it's one of the regrets that I have in my life, like not even like from college, but like life, because trying to
See.
just like eating with friends, like I always had to just leave because I like couldn't eat with them because I didn't have those yeah, I couldn't eat in the food court or stuff like that, where it's like there's like a limit in what I could do, and I have to ask them if I could sleep over or hang out with them because I didn't have any access to like go into any dorms. So I really 100% like think that you should dorm, because if you have to study and it's too loud, then go to the library. At least it's right there, like right, because you're living on campus. But when you're not on campus and you're home and it's even louder at home, it's like where can I go? And if you really can't stand people like you sleep with or you hang out with or you hear over the night, then you could go home if you want. But Sandy lives in NorCal, so I bet it was a little more difficult to go back home.
Yeah, it was. I only went home, I think my freshman year, I went home like twice a year. And then after that, it was like, it just stayed like twice a year for the rest of my college years. But also with the dorming things, like because you're most likely going to have roommates in your dorm room, it's if you don't get along with your roommates, it's kind of, you do get yourself into like a sticky situation.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't want to bash on anyone, but my
Oh yeah, I mean you're technically bashing already, so might as
okay,
well.
like I just wanted to say that it's a learning lesson when you're dorming with other people. Like what I learned is that dorming with friends is different from being friends with them. You guys have different habits. You guys like, like some may be a little bit cleaner than others. So you definitely need to know, I guess you should know like what kind of person you are in terms of like cleanliness and your study habits and stuff. But college is all about like finding yourself. So like even then, like you never know how you are until you live out on your own.
And Jenny, if you have any questions along the way, like while we're saying stuff, go ahead and cut us off. Because your questions are more important than our answers, I think. So
Well,
I saw that mute.
But for me, it's like I am planning on dorming because I like socializing with like people and like I want to meet new friends. But I think my main concern is like having bad roommates. For me, like right now, like I've been contacting my friends, like because like we're applying to like similar colleges, like same colleges. So yeah, I've been contacting them, but then I know that like for some of them they're gonna go to like different colleges, like we might have to like separate but stay in contact. And like I think my question is just like, what do I do if I have like bad roommate? Like can I change like
so you can actually request to change your roommate. You're probably gonna have to have an actual like good reason for that. Let them know, make some stupid excuses or something. I don't know, try your way out. But they should be able to actually figure something out for you and move you to a different room. And one thing that I do want to bring up too as well is just because they were your friends in the past or you know them because you went to the same high school shouldn't be the 100% reason why you should like dorm with them, because sometimes you don't know who they are until you live with them. You get to know more about the person once you live with that person. And I know a couple of people my freshman year where they dorm with each other. Nothing went bad, but they knew each other from high school and they knew they went in the same high school. They graduated, the same year as well. So they knew that they wanted to dorm because at least it was a common face, someone that was familiar to them. And then turns out the entire year they never spoke again with each other, and it was all awkward. So this, keep that in mind too.
But anyways, okay, speaking of dorm, like since we've already clarified most of it, like what other like concerns do you have?
Well, I was also like planning on working, like having a part-time job, but I just wanted to like ask if it's a good idea. Is it worth it?
She's asking if she should work during college
Yeah,
or
during college.
if she should focus in school.
Okay, there's a difference between wanting to be part-time actually working, because there's actually working for experience and working for money. I should have done in terms of working for experience. At the same time, I've joined so many different organizations that's helped me adapt and I guess like learn how to actually act in a professional manner and not. So I guess regardless of what you're trying to obtain, so like what are you trying to get from like a part-time job? Just experience or like money?
I think both.
Both. Because honestly, like you said, like you want to too, and you want to learn how to adapt to college. I think like first years, I think it'd just be better. Like in all honesty, in your first year, you probably just want to go venture out in college because you have 3 more years of living and seeing what you want to do. Plus, if you meet more people, this is also an opportunity for you to get a better job because of networking. And just talking to your what do you call it, guys? Advisor? What?
Yeah, advisor.
Yeah, your advisor or like a GLC. It's pretty much like is it GLC in high school? What's it GLC?
Oh, counselor.
Like, oh, okay, yeah. That. But you know what I mean.
I worked during college, but like not like as in like a whole lot of work. I just did a part-time job.
For me, I remember doing full-time, like it was like a full-time job plus on top of that, well, like full school, full-time, like a full-time student. And the reason why I did that was because I actually learned, or I heard from like someone that I actually really look up to. He was in my fraternity, and he was saying that you don't know your limit until you push yourself till that limit. And that guy is like, he's an entrepreneur now. He has his own startup. But while he was doing all that during college and then getting good grades, he was also having a blast. He was also having fun. He was going to parties, stuff like that, right? Which was the exact same reason as to why I pushed myself so hard for that 1 quarter, because he ended up working while having fun, and it's all up to how you manage your time.
Right.
So now if you're trying to make money and you're trying to gain experience too, go ahead, do that. But that shouldn't be the reason why it stops you from having fun. If you're not having fun because you're working, it's because you're mainly wasting time elsewhere. That you could be spending it better so that you can still have fun. I'm not saying I'm the best at managing time because I had struggles my entire 4 years doing that. Managing time is like so hard in my opinion. But I think you don't know your limit till like you push yourself all the way. So I think you should still give it a shot. First year, try it. If it doesn't work for your first half of the first year, then drop it. Stop working and then readjust every time. Just give it a try and then readjust.
Mm-hmm. I think instead of rushing, you should just get the feel of the water just to see like how well you're coping with college. I'm like, oh my god.
No, we
yeah, no,
I think you're lagging.
I definitely agree with Brandon. If you feel like your grades are starting to go down because of your work, then I think you should like maybe drop your work to focus on school. And if you feel like you're not having enough as a social life, then you should probably try to add a bit of like social life to your weekends. Definitely make sure you have a balance of things. It's obviously like easier said than done, but balance is definitely key for everything in college.
I definitely agree too. I worked all 4 years of college and I think I partied hard. I studied a lot. I was able to like manage time. Should I not be saying this?
No, it's fine.
But yeah, I was able to manage my time with no problem. And I think if you are able to do that, then you should be able to. Like if my grades were dropping, it wasn't because I was working so much. It was more because I wasn't trying. So I think, yeah, as long as you could manage your time.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to say that you should work smarter, not harder. Like for example, if you're studying for something, instead of like reading your textbook, honestly, like it's not that important to read your textbook. It's more important to look through the course material that your professor gives you, because most likely your professor is going to test the stuff that they give you instead of the textbook.
Also, like I was thinking, well, not like part-time job. Like I was thinking about that too, but also like taking summer schools so that like I could graduate like earlier. Just
I think we
Okay, so
lost
she
it a
is
second
talking
time.
about, yeah, but she's talking about summer school.
Yeah, so
And
she's talking about summer school and graduating earlier too. Is that a good choice?
well,
I guess.
I
Go ahead, Brendan.
I took 2 quarters of summer school, and I think it helped me because like it's a good way to just also like be on my own and just like because I lived in an apartment, so I think summer school is a huge advantage for me because of credits, like class credit and all that. So depending on what you're missing, then yeah, take it.
What
But if
was
you're
the
not,
reason behind you taking summer school though? Were you behind? Is that why you took
um,
summer school, or did you just want to graduate early?
I had to make sure that I was reaching my credit. Like
Okay,
I
so
had to
you
make sure that I was gonna graduate in time. Yeah, that's pretty much why. Yeah,
okay? That's
because
cool.
a lot of us students, I realize like the ones that take AP, especially in high school, AP classes. Yeah, that's a like a credit booster. So yeah, I didn't take any AP classes in high school. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I personally feel like it really depends on your situation. Like as a freshman, like I don't think you should take summer classes like before even going into college, because honestly you have all the time in the world, and if you feel like finance isn't like too much of an issue for you, just take your time, because college honestly goes by really fast, and you want to enjoy your time in college, and plus you have your junior and senior year to go to summer school if you need summer school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe I graduated during Corona. Senior year was supposed to be crazy.
Personally, you don't even need to take summer school to graduate early. I think, as long as you're studying each
Oh
quarter
yeah.
or semester, you're taking the maximum amount of courses you can, then you don't even need to take summer classes.
Okay.
Now, yeah, go ahead.
That's why I didn't do. Okay, that's actually something that a lot of my years we didn't realize that
Hmm.
because we could have taken like 4 or 5 classes, right, per
Yeah,
quarter, but we took
Mm-hmm.
like 4 or like 3.
that's the thing.
So
Yeah,
definitely dependent on classes.
and for me, it's like I knew I was gonna go business my third year of college. So my first year, second year, I wanted to be a lawyer and all that. I was taking poli sci and stuff like that. And then eventually, my third year, I was like, yeah, you know what? I want to do business, man. At least it's gonna help me out with everything. And in 2 years, I managed to do almost every courses I needed to actually graduate. Which meant that I had to take five classes every quarter. Usually the average is 4 to 3, and I had to take 5 every quarter. But it wasn't like it was impossible to do. It's not like I was dying to. I was still having fun. I was still partying and stuff like that, and I was still having jobs on top of that. So personally, it's like you don't need to take summer school. I feel like summer school is going to be extra money anyways. You can take 3 years and take the same courses. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I think you should still take your time, just like they both said too. Brandon and Sandy said, because you're going to college for 4 years, and then you're going to be working for 20 years of your life, right? 25, 30, however many years of your life you want to, but you only got 4 years in college, maybe six. I know some people that take more than 4 to 6 years in college.
I took an extra year, by the way.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. You can
Yeah,
take your time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
but either way, your time in college is going to be shorter than any other time you have if with work or anything else.
I think instead of spending 3 years to just do everything early and just graduate and try to move on with your life, I feel like it really depends on what you do in that 4 years that you're in college. Like you could make that 4 years, like you could volunteer, you could take more classes that you need later, or Yeah, you need to understand that colleges don't have all the classes you need to even go to med school, because she's trying to go to med school. So if you really want to take classes during the summer, then you should take classes that are, or your university doesn't have. And then maybe you can move on even faster instead of studying one more year after.
I think what is more important for someone like Jenny, who is planning to go to med school, is getting experience. That's more important than like taking classes. And I guess I could speak for other majors too. Like, experience is more important than courses.
Definitely agree with that. And actually, wait, there's one thing that I saw recently. I think it's on TikTok or something, or on Instagram, and that's for all those high schoolers right now lecturing, or all those high schoolers that are going to college. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I could relate it so much to back then too. But a lot of high school teachers tell you, "Oh, college is going to be so much harder." You know, I'm so much nicer than what a college professor is going to be like. Right now, the amount of homework I'm giving you is so much less than college, which like gives you that mindset as a high schooler that, dang, college is so hard. College is going to be really hard. And that's my initial, like, that's what I thought about college too. And I was a little worried, you know, it was going to be overwhelming. And I came into college, and it really wasn't as hard as teachers exaggerated. And don't get me wrong, some teachers might say that it's going to be really easy, but it might be a little harder. But to those teachers that tell you that it's going to be really hard and the professors are going to be really strict, don't be fooled by that.
There are some professors who are really strict, but you know, some professors in their emails, they're pretty much like your friend. They're like, oh, LOL, like you guys don't need to do this anymore. Oh, I'm too busy to go to class. Class is canceled for today, or stuff like that. Like professors are really chill.
I have UCR. We actually have a really good business professor. His name is Professor Jonathan Lim, and he's one of the most, like, I think the best professors we've had.
Best in terms of
not in terms of only just studying. It's just like he's very engaged, and you know, I mean, but also Flo, like in high school, you got to give them that mindset so that they can at least adapt to it. You know.
You're right.
Like, I know it's not like expectations, but I'm pretty sure there's a reason why these teachers says it. You know. There's a reason why their teachers are saying that in high school. They're not trying to put in fear, but they're trying to make sure that your mind's mentally ready. Because I've seen so many students who just transfer to college and they're already crying and stressing out, and then I'll be like, yeah, no, it's something that a lot of people do. Like, you'd be surprised, but it's normal.
No, I think the hardest part, especially like for people who don't know what they want to get into, like for those undeclared majors or those who are who just are kind of lost going to college, like you have a little bit of time to figure it out. Like, it would be best if you figure out, like, maybe like before your or at the end of your sophomore year. But honestly, just take all the different classes, see what interests you the most.
I feel so freaking old because we're just pretty much saying something that we've already heard before. You know what I mean? Like, when your parents tell you the same thing, you're just repeating yourself. You're just like, oh yeah, that's what my parents say. But because what Sandy was saying is true. Because I know a lot of, like, the viewers, especially, if you've heard us say the same thing or you something like this similar to that, it's actually very true. I know it sounds like, what the fuck is he saying? Or like, it's so biased, so bland. Like, you don't know what they're talking about. It is actually just the way it is. I feel like that's how university has taught us that we gotta find out our own path. Don't be on so much pressure. Don't feel that you're on pressure. Don't feel so stressed out, because it's the way of living. We're like, God, I feel like a grandpa when I'm saying this kind of stuff. I hate saying this type of shit, man.
I'm applying to like those like big colleges, and there's gonna be like a lot of like students, and I heard that like getting classes like were hard.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult.
I think if we let her know how, like, maybe like how hard it is to get into classes, or textbooks being super expensive, or the whole like credit no credit thing, I think if we tell Jenny, I think it'll be helpful.
All right, boys and girls. Who's gonna say what?
I could start first. So with your classes, usually they give priority to those who in high school who have like I guess better grades, right, guys? I don't remember.
No, more credit. It's or
More
at least
credit.
for our
Yeah,
school,
yeah, yeah.
Whoever
Mm-hmm.
has more credit.
Yeah, so if you're higher in status, as in like if you're a freshman almost with sophomore level, then you get priority with classes compared to the rest of your peers. But like with classes, like it's definitely like a fighting for all your classes type of thing. If you don't get your classes, like usually freshman and sophomore year is not as bad because those are lower div classes, and like usually they have other options for you to go into. But be prepared to not be able to get your classes, and definitely have your plan A, plan B, plan B, plan C, like all like planned out.
Figured out.
Figured out. That way you know like which classes to fall like onto if you don't get a certain class.
Oh, and one huge thing I think, something that's very crucial is to learn how to navigate your school system, whatever website it is, and how to understand where you're at, to graduate. Like what other classes you need to take in order to graduate.
The audit.
Yeah, the audit. Don't waste your time going to the advisors to ask those stupid questions or those minimal questions that you can find for yourself, because usually those advisors are stacked with students. This university has like 30,000 students. They probably have 10 advisors for like a good section of the school, whatever it is. And for me, whenever I try to go to an advisor for any specific questions like that, it took me a good hour to wait. And it's like something that you could just figure it out on your own in like 5 minutes online if you actually knew how to navigate your school system. So definitely learn how to do that, and it'll save you so many hours actually. So do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and moving forward to the withdrawal SNC, have you guys actually done the SNC credit, no credit, and withdrawal classes?
Yes, I have.
I did that.
He's the
So
teacher.
for me, yeah, I actually wasn't what is it? I was like a peer mentor or a peer educator. And so what I did was actually I'm technically doing the exact same thing, but what I did was teach undergraduate or high schoolers, first years, how to adjust to UCR, to college. And so the SNC was like part of the thing where I found it so valuable, because a lot of students didn't know that it helped you from saving your GPA, I guess. And that one time I used it was that one time when I was gonna fail one class. Never showed up to class, because don't ever do that. But I never showed up to that class because it was a class I felt like was so easy. It was supposed to be critical thinking, and I was like, dude, I know how to critically think. So then I was like, dude, I'm never gonna go to that class. And then there was no midterm, no final, there was nothing. It was just weekly quizzes. And then I was like, okay, I'm
Oh my
acing those
God.
quizzes. I'm acing those quizzes. There's no need to go. Turns out I wasn't acing those quizzes, and I failed the class. And usually for at least for our school system, the SNC process was you have until week 7 to do it out of week 10. So while you know where you're standing in terms of grades, if say you have a 3.5 GPA average and you know that classes you're gonna fail, it's gonna drop your GPA by a lot, right? So what I did was I did no credit so that it would not affect my GPA at all. I got a fail. I got an F on my transcript, but it didn't drop my GPA. And I never took that class again because I thought it was not worth taking it again.
Yeah, every school has different like requirements for credit, no credit, or withdrawal. There's always a timeline and a deadline, so just be aware of that. Because I've actually also SNC'd the class because of just stupid mistakes, and it's actually really helpful.
And
It's
say
crazy helpful.
I know a lot of people in senior year, like if they're last year, if they had a 4.0, and there's this one class where they were not going to do good, but they knew they were going to pass anyways. They were going to get a 3.5, and they still wanted that 4.0. All they did was SNC and then just pass the class, and they still keep that 4.0.
I think I used it I actually don't remember because it feels like it's been so long since I've been out of college. But I used it. I used SNC for one of the classes. I don't remember which one. I think I didn't think I was gonna pass that class, but I actually ended up like getting a better grade than I thought I would, and I shouldn't have SNC that class. So that's one of the risks about SNC is like if you do well, like say you didn't know you were gonna get a B in the class, and you thought you're just not gonna pass the class, and you end up getting a B. It's kind of a waste of an SNC, but you know it's fine. But like I also dropped a class before, meaning like at some certain point I was like, yeah, withdrawal, yeah. So I was like, oh, I definitely got to drop this class, otherwise my GPA is definitely going to tank. So that's what I did my sophomore year of college.
I think one thing that people should know is that if they are getting FAFSA from the government and you're required to take at least 3 classes, which is 12 units. And if you withdraw one class, it messes your whole FAFSA up. So you might have to pay like a few $1,000s. So really know what you're doing like when you withdraw a class. And also I wanted to tell Jenny, okay, I don't know about like business and econ majors, but I was a math and chemistry, so when I was taking chemistry classes or even math classes, my classes all had A, B, C. So like it'll be chem something A, B, and C. And I really want to tell Jenny that you really need to focus on those classes, because if you fail one, say you passed A, but then you didn't pass B, then you have to wait a whole year until they offer B again. They don't offer it on the next quarter. Like
Really?
You have to wait a whole, so you have to wait the whole year until next winter. So a lot of people have to either take classes during summer to make it up, or they had to wait a whole year, even go to their 5th year because they couldn't pass it. And I feel like a lot of people don't know like what you're going through. So if you can't handle it, then like don't take it. But
that is a very poor school system.
The only thing that is a 1, 2, 3 or ABC in business is language.
And accounting.
Chinese 1, Chinese 2, Chinese 3.
There's also accounting.
That's true. But
accounting,
you can take A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Different quarters. But a lot of like a lot of my classes I couldn't take it. So if I were to fail any of them, I would have been so screwed.
No, definitely you have to be careful about your prereqs. Say like since you're going to bio type of stuff, you have to make sure that the classes you're taking, like for example, you have to take chemistry 1 to go into bio. I think it was 5A, right? Or something like that for UCR at least. So if you don't pass a class in a different subject, you might not be able to take another class in another subject, which kind of sucks sometimes. So definitely be careful with that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But that's something that you'll learn eventually, because even if you meet like, let's say in an organization, and then you've met like a couple of seniors and juniors that's in your like major, they will definitely be there for you. That's why I say that joining organization is very, very crucial. At first, it does seem like kind of weird that you have to do like those icebreakers, but eventually that's how you make friends. Because I was like that. I'm pretty sure everyone was like that.
Like, how did you guys make friends? It's like dorms, right? Is that like the main thing in like the organizations, or?
I mean, with orgs, it's like it's clubs. You could join fraternities, sororities, or just regular organizations. Like you just have to put yourself out there, like to talk to people. Like I know there's like introverted people out there. Like honestly, it's hard to put yourself out there, but trust me, I've been there. Like it's very difficult for me, but you know, just believe that once you put yourself out there, you will make friends.
The first time I met Sandy, well, the first time I met Sandy, we actually I signed up for a organization performance. So I think my point of saying this is because no matter where you are or what you do, you're eventually gonna meet someone. I remember meeting Flo from a friend, and it was at a party, and then eventually like we got pretty close, and then Jane I just met this year and still see there's a connection somehow. So
And I think
I think you shouldn't worry about that. Wait, sorry.
No, I definitely you shouldn't worry about that because that's the biggest thing about college. Like the education is great, obviously, but on top of that, the reason why college is so amazing is because of the people you surround yourself with. Like everybody that's around you, they're all the same age. They're all varying between 18 to 22 if they're undergrad. Maybe some of them are like 22 up to 30. They can be older too. But the majority are between 18 to 22. So all the people you're around with, you know, you can relate to. And just to give you like a brief list of, of possible ways, the way I got friends was by either finding a job on campus, which means my coworkers are also people that are the same age, or actually in class, literally asking the person, "Hey, did you do your homework? How'd you do your homework? How'd you do your exam?" Stuff like that.
Very common question. Very common question.
Or like after a midterm or a final and you thought it was hard, the way what I used to do is like if I had a hard time for an exam, I would just go around to random people. I'm like, yo, this exam was like pretty hard, right? Just to see how they were doing. And if they said, yeah, it was kind of hard, then at least I know I'm not on my own. And then that's just like a great way to spark conversation. But this classes you can make friends with, right? Classes, jobs, organizations, those are the main three, honestly. And then sometimes you can just walk on campus and then just cross someone and bump into that person and just talk. But that rarely happens. How about
I
you, Jane?
disagree. All you have to say is like, "Hey, you look familiar," even if you've never seen them before, and then that's where you start your conversation. That's pro tip to all of you guys out there.
That's very true. Yeah, that's possible.
I think Jane wanted to say something first.
Yeah, Jane.
Oh yeah, I think for me because I was in like a science field, and I told you like you have to take A, B, and C, and I think that's why I was able to see the people in my major every single class. Like we were in the same path. So I think as long as you get someone even in your own like major, there'll be like plenty more than
get a party buddy and a study buddy.
True facts.
Dude, get a smart friend
and get a lit friend.
Yes.
So when something happens, just go to the other one.
That's messed up. But yeah, I mean, this sums up. Do you have any final question off of what we just answered?
I'm like, I have like an idea like what college is like a little bit. And I'm just glad that like I get to know all of these, like listening to these advices. So like, thank you for.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for showing up today, and we'll just wrap up this so that our viewers aren't overwhelmed by all the information we've given them. Just so either way, whatever we've said, if it's too much information, you just gotta know that college is gonna be smooth. It's gonna be a good ride. It's gonna be a good 4 years. Thank you for tuning in.
And it's gonna go by so fast.
Yep, it's gonna go by really fast. So just enjoy your time.
And if you have any more additional questions, just message us on Instagram or YouTube. Don't worry, we will definitely respond.
Sounds good.
And if you have any other promotions, just hit us up.
All right, thank you, viewers, for your tuning in. Yeah.
Take care.
See you next time.